Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Brian W. Adams.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining today's Inspire podcast. We've had so many inspirational partners join the Integrity family and so many examples of people living out the American dream. And I've got an incredible partner that's joining me today. And I'm so excited for you guys to meet James Ha, who is principal of the J. Ha Health Advocates team. And James has had a remarkable journey from being an immigrant to a trailblazer in the Medicare business. And I can't wait for you to hear this inspiring story. Hey, James, thanks so much for being here today. First of all, had a great time hanging out last night, learning something about your story and spending some time with you today. You've built an amazing business, and it's really based on service. You've got such a unique background. And I love the fact that you've got a very unique story. And we've had some incredible stories here of partners who have really overcome a lot of obstacles and have accomplished the American dream. Now, you were born in South Korea,
yes,
and your
right.
parents, y'all moved here when you were 7 years old. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shocking experience. Well, by the way, it's an honor to be here.
Oh, man,
Brian.
Dude, it's an honor for us. We're humbled.
This was phenomenal, the experience. I'm fortunate. And again, I mean, from the get-go, from meeting with Ben to here, it's been nothing but outstanding.
Wow, thank you, buddy. We're honored and humbled that you're here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, Korea, 7 years old, came here. It was a shock to me. I mean, I had no idea what was going on, right? I mean, 7-year-old kid,
Do you remember being in Korea?
Yes.
Growing up?
Very little.
Yeah.
When we came here, we moved to a small town in Jersey. We were like the only Asian Americans and, or Koreans, matter of fact.
Yeah.
People looked at us like, wow, right? But what that brought to me was the fact that I had to learn things quickly.
Yeah.
And I had to be better.
Did you speak any English when you got
it
here?
was
Nothing.
cold.
It was cold, man.
Right.
Just totally immersive.
Right.
What about your parents? Did they speak any English?
My father spoke very little because my father worked when he was in Korea. He was down in Vietnam during the Vietnam War. He was working with the U.S. Army. He was one of the engineers that was working for them. Right?
Oh, wow.
So that's where he really got the connection and the opportunity to come to the States. So when he came here, he got a job, and they grew up living in a small town, learned as much as you can, right? And you had to learn English, right? And you had to learn. I apologize. This is
You're great.
trying to really process. Small town. I was like the only Asian American, right? A lot of challenges.
Yeah.
You just had to be better.
What was the key to trying to assimilate? What was the key for you as a 7-year-old going into something where you don't know, you don't speak the language, of you just going like, and by the way, you didn't have a choice, right? And so it's like, what was the key for you to just go, all right, we're just going to figure this out?
I smiled and I made friends.
Yeah.
Try to make as many friends as I can. And what was good at that time was I was very good in sports.
Yeah.
And sports really brought people together. I mean, I had my foster parents because they would drive me everywhere.
Yeah.
Because I was really good in baseball, and their grandson was my teammate, and they would drive me everywhere, and wherever we played, they were there to take care of me. Because my father, my parents, they work.
Yeah.
They work 6-7 days a week.
Yeah, they had to.
They had to put food on the table and pay the rent. But I survived it, and I strive to have these people and they're my family because they took care of me, as my parents were working, and I started to have a lot of friends because of my sports abilities.
Yeah.
And
sports are so important for that. I think, especially as you're growing up.
Right.
I think it's the kids today, And like, I got 2 little kids we were just talking about. Like, I don't want to be categorical, but kids today playing video games and, staying inside all the time is a real disservice, because I think whenever you start playing sports, especially at an early age, it forces you to, one, work together as a team.
Right.
Forces you to overcome something you may not be good at.
Right.
Forces you to fail and then get back up. Right. I mean, I think some of the times, like watching my kids, like some of the life lessons that they get when they get upset or their team loses and they're like upset, I'm like, man, I want them to remember this because this is life, So, and that had to be so important. It's totally different from what you had to go through, but my son is going into middle school this year, and we're changing schools for him.
That must be tough.
And he doesn't have a choice.
He doesn't have a choice.
And this is one of the things we've been talking about. He's 12 years old, and he's like, well, I want to go to this school that my friends are going to, and we wanted to go to a smaller school, and we think it'll be a better experience longer term for him, but man, seeing that like fear on his face, honestly. So he went into like the sports program this summer, and my wife about killed me, but I was like, he'd come back and I was like, did you talk to any kids? And he's like, no, I didn't talk. He's pretty shy, and he was like, I didn't talk to anybody. I'm like, man, you got to get to know people. So for some of us, like I can pop right in. I'll figure it out. You like, we were up there last night. Like, we'll figure it out, right?
Right.
But for a kid, man, and especially when they're conflicted because it's not their choice. Right. So I told Asher, I said, listen, here's the deal. This week, I want you to get to know people's names, and I want you to know something about them.
Right.
And then at the end of the week, you got all week. However many people you come back with, and you tell me their name and something about them, I'll give you $5 per name. So now it's
right.
It's a money-making venture. So my wife was like so frustrated with me. Like, she was like, I can't believe you're doing this. But he came back to me at the end of the week. He had 8 names, kids. He knew their name. He knew something about them. Like, this kid's really, fast. This kid's got, blonde hair. This kid's got dark hair. This kid is like super tall. This kid's taller than you, Dad, and he's 11. I mean, it's like there was
wow,
like,
that's awesome.
Which was awesome.
Right.
And so I gave him $40. It was one of the best $40 I've spent all summer, because it helped him get out of that. And then today, one of the friends he met, his mom yesterday reached out to Robin, invited them over to their house, and was like, hey, my kid, my son loved meeting Asher. Do you guys want to come over and, we'll get to know each other before he starts school? And I'm like, thank God, because I'm sure your parents had to like love the fact that those, as you call them, godparents, were willing to take you around, because then you're like, oh my gosh, we have a community. And when you build that community, I think humans need community so much, where they need that support system and everything.
It's absolutely vital. My parents were so busy with work. I literally had to do things by myself at that age.
Yeah.
I even joined a baseball team because my friend he played baseball. He joined baseball. He's like, come with me. Oh, I'll go.
Had you ever played baseball before?
Never.
Wow. Good for you.
But for some reason, like I just got it.
Because you want to be with your friend.
Right.
Right? And then it's fun. And then you're good at it. And then it became really fun, right?
And people were like, so that's you, right? And I'm like, really? Me? Yeah.
That is awesome, man.
So that really showed me why it's important to, be good at something, but at the same time, like, share that and seeing the feelings and that you share with them was what really drove me as I got older.
Yeah.
And then, I went to school at Purdue University where I really,
Purdue's such a great school, man.
It's a great place where I learned to stay away from my parents, or as far away from my parents
Indiana's
as possible.
a long ways from New Jersey.
And education is important. As Korean Americans, education. You got to be an engineer or a doctor. But when I went there, I was an econ major, but I learned how to socialize. I joined a fraternity, and we all went out and had a good time. And I was able to learn how to develop the relationships that really helped me to where I am, where I can talk to anybody now.
Yeah.
Right. And be good at it in a sense where I'm a good listener now, which, not many people are. Because if you don't listen, you don't know what their concerns, issues, or questions are.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that really brought me to where I am today with the agents is that I take care of them. And I answer their questions, their concerns, and I give them all of my energy. And I'll spend an agent, whether they produce 1 or 1,000, because there's a point where you have to invest your time and money. But time is so valuable. But if you have the time and you give them all the resources and give them 100%, either they will produce for you or they won't. And that's where you know for sure how to separate an agent.
Now you started out in a different way, and I think a lot of what we become is kind of what we've learned over time, right? And you learned the way you didn't want to do it in that first career in financial services. You started out on Wall Street, and you were cold calling, selling stocks like boiler room, right?
Right. It was scary. Well, I ended up being in there because after I graduated in '89 at the university, came back home, there was no jobs.
Yeah.
I applied. I used to read the Sunday New York Times and just kind of see, what's out there. And then this came about and I interviewed. Of course, I'm just a body, just a number.
Yeah.
But, I went into New York and I had the opportunity to, learn that, which was, for me, was the School of Hard Knocks. That's where you really learn to develop your sense of business and just the difficulty of that. And I still can't believe that I went through that because it's so hard.
Yeah.
Then I knew it wasn't for me.
Yeah. And so selling Medicare insurance was like easy after trying to do that, right?
I'm not knocking Medicare, but I love Medicare because that's all my business. But it's a complete different.
You're serving people in a different way, and right. I think some of those examples, those early examples, I know some early examples in my career. There were some things I was like, I really love that, and I really hate that, and I'm not going to do it. And so there's certain things like that I've even. Even with our culture, some of the things that we've done here is like it's just going to be completely the opposite of where I came from, and that's I think some of what you kind of lived out is, whereas you were just a number, you were just like hammering the phones. You weren't listening. You were just telling people, like trying to get them on the phone.
That's all it was.
And then you took that experience and you completely changed the entire paradigm and said, I want to listen. I don't want to see people as a number. Right. I want to serve them. And your business is really based on service. One of our core values here at Integrity is service. We've got so much in common in so many different ways, but your heart of service, did that come out of some of the experiences that you had growing up and seeing that on Wall Street it wasn't necessarily about service? Where did that come from, your passion for serving others?
I think when I was a kid, growing up, there was a lot of people that helped me.
Yeah.
And that I still feel is so important with regards to how I am today. Because if there was nobody that were there to help, and I had to do this on my own, I think I may have been a different person. But there were so many support from, other families that now that I'm where I am, you want to give back.
Yeah.
And share that. My wife and I, we always disagree because she's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And I tell my wife all the times, it's because when I was a kid, there were so many families, that helped me.
Wow.
Like Brian, they helped me.
Wow.
When my parents were like nowhere because they were working. So, that is one of the thoughts that I had that is really deep. And when I got into the Medicare business, it's like, you're not selling, you're helping.
Yeah.
Because Medicare is so complex. In order for them to really find the right plan, you really have to educate them and understand what their needs are. And that's something that, well, my agents, I train my agents. I don't sell, by the way. But what I do is, because I've been in the corporate world all my life, in a sense, in the insurance business, I know what I need to do to take care of my agents so that they can go and share that same feeling and the philosophy that I have to them, so that they feel comfortable and that they will make the right choice. And, it's a great feeling, right? Because you're helping them and you're giving them the right, products and the right plans, so they won't come back and say, you gave me the wrong plan and you got compliance issues.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think we talk about this a lot. We're truly in a noble profession. I mean, how we come in and serve people, especially preparing for some of the most important decisions they have. I was talking to one of our great leaders the other day, and he was talking about he just reached Medicare age. And he was like, I can figure this out. He's not on our health side, he's on another part of our business, but he said, I didn't appreciate the complexity of what people go through and why an agent is so important. And his philosophy originally was, I know a lot about this. I've heard a lot. I'm not an expert, but I talk to these guys, and he starts going through it. And he's like, oh my gosh! But it's such an important, complex decision that's so critical that he was like, I need help. And so he called one of our agents, and she was able to walk him through it in the most simple way. And he literally was just telling me, he was like, we have to do better about helping more people. I'm like, we are, like, we're, and he was like, we need to even do more for our employees, our families. Like, this is so much harder than I ever thought. And I think that's one of the things, one of the reasons it's so rewarding for what we do. And I think one of the reasons, like, we're so passionate about telling everybody about the things that we're doing. We're creating and literally inventing the technology that supports this to really help more agents go out and serve more clients. And that's something I'm just so passionate about, because at the end of the day, we're not selling anything. We're serving people. The byproduct is if they buy. But Zig Ziglar said that if you can help enough people get what they want, then you can have everything you want. And it is so true in that. And that's why we're so excited about partnering with you today and the opportunity we have to come alongside of you and frankly learn from you, because you've done so many amazing things, but also share other ideas and things that we can even help you grow more and serve more people. What are you most excited about now joining Integrity?
Integrity has something that I need. And I think one of the reasons why when I was invited, I'm number one, I mean, look at this building, first of all, right?
Thank you.
And number two, for my wife, and I always bring my wife because she's my inspiration, right? She looked at the office, she's like, wow, I didn't know Medicare was this. I was like, yeah, I mean, honey, that's why I'm in this business, because Medicare is more important than you would ever imagine.
Yeah.
It's Medicare has become the primary source for all the carriers as well. I mean, because it's so important today. Yeah. But to see this and how you've built this place, right? It's a wow factor, and my wife loved it, and she's like, just sign. Sign, honey.
Yeah, I think the main thing about I would say about all of our offices, because we've got so many great offices, it really comes down to the people. And when you meet the people that we have, I mean, we're in the people business, and we've got the best people in this entire world serving others. And then every part about what we've tried to build here at our shared service office is to communicate a story about our business philosophies about serving more people and around our core values. I was just talking to a consulting firm who was in, and they were like, we have never seen a business that focuses so much on core values. But my philosophy is if you build it based on core values that can never change, these principles of living with integrity, of treating everybody like family, about serving others, about having respect and treating people the way that God created them, and ultimately about coming together as partners to serve even more people, then there's no limit to where we can go from here. And that's what I'm so excited about. And I hope is your experience, and the integrity effect is really about how do we take it to the next level of serving more people, and we can't wait for that.
Well, I know when our initial meeting, Ben showed a lot of, Thomas Arts, that's phenomenal, right? You got your technology, you have the platform, and just the fact that just being here today and yesterday and the way they treated me, that speaks volumes, Brian. And the team that you have, you always want to surround yourself with people that you want to work with and associate with, because that's how you work together, and by working together, you become a better organization. And that's what I try to do, with my team. But Integrity has built such a platform, and the marketing and the entire philosophy and the process that is absolutely unheard of. And I think that's one of the reasons why when I joined Ritter, I had another FML. But after I sat down and met with Ben and went through the process and with the Integrity and what they are doing, I jumped. I brought all of my book of business and my carriage to Ritter.
Yeah.
And from there, you got this entire family of Integrity that are like who's who on your website. What better place to grow and learn, right? Because I'm learning something every day.
Yeah.
Right. Medicare, hey, listen, great, right? Under 65 marketplace, it's great. Life insurance, I need help because I don't really do that. But the whole portfolio that Integrity brings and put it in one platform, that makes my life easier, and it makes our agents a lot, because you want it to be user friendly.
Yeah,
I've had issues when you have agents calling me and saying, James, how do I contract? Where do I go? You need that one-stop shop, and that's what Integrity brings. Plus the fact that they got like the CRMs, the marketing, the technology. You have Thomas Arts, doing the level of professionalism that you don't get in other places. And that's one of the things I know that's going to help me grow. And I know that if I grow, then I am contributing to the Integrity success.
Well, listen, we're excited about that. You bring up Ritter, and I just want to say what Ritter's built and what Craig and that team have done is just second to none. And we're so excited to have them as part of the family. The one thing I love about that is, one, Craig is one of the hardest working guys and the most passionate, and frankly, one of the smartest guys in this entire industry, I would say. Second, his dad, Cal, who started Ritter, hasn't needed to work in a long time. And Cal is one of the best humans I've ever met, but today he's still serving Medicare clients, and he has his own book of business, and he still serves over 1,500 clients. And that's when, if you believe in these core values and you believe that what you're doing really matters, you never do it for the money. It's about how do you serve more people. And that's where, just people like that who live by that example make me want to get up and do better every day. And that's why we're so excited to partner with you. And I just can't wait to see where we go from here. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's an honor. We are humbled to have you join us. And I hope you guys see the opportunity we have to serve even more people. I say this all the time. We're just getting started. And when you bring in guys like James and the opportunity we have to serve even more people, this is the American dream in so many different ways that we're able to experience. And we're living in the greatest country in the world, and we need to get back to focusing on how do we serve more people. And so this AEP, we've got such an opportunity to go out and prove, especially as we have the disruption, all the different things that will be occurring. We've got the opportunity to go out and serve even more people and even help them have a better healthcare experience overall. And I can't wait for us all to be able to do that now as partners. So hope everybody has a great week. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Hope you've been as inspired as I have been, because this is such an exciting partnership, and can't wait to see where we go from here. God bless you all and have a great week.